Greetings, nail peoples. It is March 15th, 2016. I am Michelle Cordes Pugh, and we're here for Nails Over Coffee. So let me get the camera turned around. Mini mug today. There we are. Hi, everybody. Yes, I have my sleepy mini mug today because when we live in a global society, you sort of have to work on a 24-hour day. Hi, everybody who's joining in. Thank you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Hello. Hello, hello. Feel free to share. Feel free to hearts, all that kind of good Periscope-y stuff that we do now. So, yeah, mornings aren't pretty. Mornings aren't, yeah, glass of wine there in the UK, of course. Oh, firecracker, hello. Yeah, because right about the time everything was simmering down from yesterday's show, my UK peeps got up and it started all over again. So, I thank you. Said a fantastic job yesterday. Thank you. I've started a revolution. Well, so it would seem. Before I get started on some fun stuff, because I don't want everything to always be a rant, I'm going to update you guys on some stuff and new addiction coffee with Michelle. Thank you, Mayor. Good to see you here. Long time no see. Hello, Jade. I'm going to update you guys a little bit on what's gone on in the last 24 hours. Then I'm going to get on to some fun stuff because, you know, you guys know me. Can't be all serious, right? So this last 24 hours has been like amazing. I knew that people would be shocked and interested. It generated even more of a conversation more quickly than I thought it would. And so I'm super excited. I've sent out a second email to CND for comment. Still haven't received a response. I've verified that that was the proper email to send it to. So I'm sure there's conversations waiting. Jenna says she was surprised as well. So I want to talk a little bit about the last 24 hours, and then I want to move into some more nail techie fun stuff because it can't be all serious. So, I've received tons of support, tons of messages from everybody. I haven't gotten the blowback yet that I really sort of expected. I'm sure it's still coming, but I'm ready for it. But I've had some fantastic conversations with people from all around the world. Techs who used to use CND and don't anymore and why. People who do use CND and how they feel about what's going on, and some other insider people in the industry who have some different perspectives to lend. And so I want to say just an amazing thank you to everybody for all that. There's conversations going on in so many groups and on so many threads. It's really hard to keep up on. I'm trying. And so I try. If you tag me in something, I get to it as soon as I can. It's just been amazing. So we need to make sure that we keep the conversation up until we get some sort of answers, some sort of resolutions. Why, thank you. But the real point that I think I want to get to kind of today in the aftermath is that I'm still very hurt. And I feel like I have been betrayed. And that's a sentiment I've received from a lot of you guys. And it's taken some different conversations and some thought to really boil down to why we feel that way. Because we've had other companies, big companies, go to the consumer side in the past. But we as nail technicians, I don't think have ever felt this blindsided. I think that we have expected. CND has sort of kept themselves up on a pedestal all these years, even with the release of shellac in 2010 and all of that. And we had pro only kind of beat into our heads. And professional stuff. Excuse me. Hold on. I have to block somebody. So pardon me. Okay. Blocked. So, I think that we were, really, if we would have known this was coming, I noticed that even in the research I did, I found I don't have the actual press release because I can't find it. But I can guarantee you that Day Spa magazine and Nail Pro magazine have the actual press release because the wording in both of their releases on their websites was the same, which means that came from CND, which means it came in the form of a press release. So I know that that press release is out there. I'm a little irked that you can't find it on the CND website under press releases. If there wasn't anything to hide, then why not just list it with all the rest of your press releases? And I feel very betrayed by the being caught blindsided. There are people who have just as recently as this week done their Shellac Pro certification without having any idea that this was happening with unlicensed bloggers. And so I think that that's the core of what we're feeling here. We had really, some of us had really followed the brand, and some people for many, many years investing thousands and thousands of dollars. And the way this was done felt like we got sucker punched. And so I think that's kind of what's fueling the emotional response from everybody. So I'm trying to kind of reel that back into the more rational business world response. We've been talking about, was going to try shellac, not anymore. Happy I learned this prior to spending money for the class. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that thanks to the viewer tip, I actually got out in front of this. I don't know how many kits they sent out to the bloggers. The true number will actually be revealed at some point. But we need to keep this going on social media so that it doesn't die away like they would want it to. We need to keep it alive, keep the conversation going. But I think that I couldn't sleep at all last night. I was so fired up. I used shellac from day one. I'm pissed off, and a thank you. You know, I have had some people question my ethics in this whole thing. And so I posted on my Facebook page, but I signed an integrity pledge at my university, and I take that commitment very seriously. It is a commitment to do things ethical in all ways you do business. It's hard enough with YouTube DIYers, but to have them all companies do this, ugh. And I stayed up way late reading everything. I'm sleepy. Yeah, boy, I hear that. I slept in this morning when I finally got to sleep. My Facebook page is michelle.cordis.25. You can also, that's my personal page. You can also see the Nails Over Coffee page, and then the University of Nails page, are Nails by Michelle Cordis Pugh. They're all mine. So I'm a little busy. But so I think that we need to start now, because I think it's the ethics that's challenged us the most. So I think now we need to come back to the logical side, which is where my business brain goes, and say, okay, how do we move on from here? So there has been a hashtag that I'd like to see follow up with the hashtag BurnCND. It's been so great to go to the search bar on different social media accounts and search the hashtag and see it come up and see what everybody's posting. But there's been another hashtag that started, and I apologize right now. I can't see the first person who did it right this second. I'll find you and give you credit for hashtag pros support pros. And I think that we need to make sure that those are working hand in hand. And my this has spawned my next investigation. I have another one I was working on that I've sort of put on the back burner of where I'm going to really try and dig deep into who owns who is professional only across the board. Okay, thank you very much. It was Dorbella Rose that started Pros Support Pros. So thank you for that. I think that we have the ability to drive the conversation. I'm glad you've learned so much about social media since you saw my scope. That's awesome. That's what we need. I think we have the ability right now to take a hold of this situation. And instead of this apparently misnomer that bloggers completely lead the situation, and the conversation, I think we need to take this opportunity to take control of the conversation. And so let's take control of, the Brendan Barbone, Tough Enough Nails, Only Pros. Exactly. I want to compile a list of which companies are truly professional only. I want to, now I'm going to go ahead and qualify this by saying that I'm a realist and I take polish out of the equation. Polish is a DIY medium. You know, so if you want to have your brand and you have your polish and you want to send it out into the, you know, $3.4 billion consumer market, as of the last time I checked, I'm sure it's bigger now, of consumer polish lines, then by all means, go ahead. Let us know. And then we can make our own educated decisions and then we can decide what we're going to carry in our salon. So, yeah, the Nail Light Pro only. So I think that what this is going to do, as long as we keep this conversation going, is it's going to speak out for us in one voice that says professionals are nail professionals, bloggers and DIY people are bloggers. And again, I don't have a problem with polish. And somebody says, I saw one of the bloggers post a pic on Instagram removing shellac with a metal tool. Exactly. See, that's what I think we're also afraid of, is we had it drilled into our head that shellac was only compatible with shellac and that we needed to follow the exact systems we were taught and it was the least damaging to the natural nail and it was for professionals only. And then to have it sent out to these bloggers and have no idea that it was happening. If they would have sent out this a Vinylux kit to everybody, I would have snorted and been a little miffed, but I would have been like, whatever, you know. And the quote that I'd love to help, your Nails Mag Ireland, and I probably wouldn't mind non-pros getting these if CND gave them training first. Exactly. Like, where is the respect for our training? Where is the respect for us as what we're supposed to be, which is we are supposed to be on the cutting edge of the industry? How can we do that if even supposing it worked, even supposing exactly what CND was wanting worked, and they sent shellac out to these people and, absolutely. And had them doing nail art, which they're not doing in their posts, by the way. Most of them are just solid color. If we would have known that was coming, then even supposing it worked, when those clients came into our salon and said, yeah, I saw shellac on Instagram but I can't get it. Or I can't do it. So I want to have it done. We could have said, oh yeah, we absolutely knew that they were teaming up with bloggers for this campaign. Isn't that cool to raise awareness? How many thousands of nail technicians are going to have people walking in their salon who, even if the campaign's successful, and say, hey, I saw this shellac on Instagram, and watch their tech go, what? The core of our business is the knowledge we have along with the service we provide, and our Our clientele is built on the relationship we have with those clients. They come to us and trust us to know more than they do. And if that's called into question because our clients start coming into us knowing about this campaign that we don't know anything about, that breaks down just a little tiny bit. It's just a crack in the wall of that trust. And so I think that over the next several weeks, I'm going to be working on compiling a list of who is pro only, who is owned by who in what companies, so that we at least can, let's pull the curtain away from this. And let's give us, I'm all about, in the University of Nails and everything, I teach doing research and making your educated decision. Let's get some of the education going. So if you are a pro-only brand, feel free to message me and reach out to me. I will be fact-checking. I will be verifying. I don't take anything just off what somebody says. I research it, which means sometimes it takes me a little time to get this done. So I have a lot of research ahead of me, and I plan on doing that research and releasing all of that information to you guys so that we can make educated decisions. So while we're all right now ready to take all of our shellac and throw it in the garbage, let's take a deep breath, just not spend any more until, with anybody, really, until we can figure out exactly who's who and where we want to spend our money and spend our time. There's going to inevitably be people who still are shellac techs. If you have local buy, sell, trade groups in your area on social media, see if you can get somebody who's sticking with the company to buy your shellac, if you're going that route. You know, I think that it's just a process, and we're going to get there. And so we're going to get pros support pros. Make sure your salon is listed on Find a Nail Tech in your city so that people can find pros. Let's really just try and keep this conversation going and take it to the next level. This is a global world. Everybody has different brands in different countries that are the predominant brands, or even different regions within the same country. When you start looking at countries that are as large as like the US and Canada and Australia, there's regional brands too. So let's sort of get this all talked about this. Let's find out who's doing what. I'm under the impression that almost every nail company has used bloggers for swatches at some point. So far, though, it seems like it's been predominantly polish. So, hello, everybody. So hopefully, I'm going to compile this information and get it out to you. And that's going to take a little bit. So in the meantime, while we're doing that, let's please keep the conversation about going C&D. As soon as I get a response from them in some way, shape, or form, I will get it out to you. Please don't bug your education ambassadors about it. When you're an educator for a company, you're bound by very strict things of what you can say. And they, I'm sure, can't say anything at all until they know what the company's position is. So please don't bug your CNDEAs. Some of them may have known what was going on. Some of them may not have. Some of them are going to feel blindsided as well. But then if you bring it up with them, they can't talk about it, which is like insult to injury. So please leave your CNDEAs out of it. And just, let's see, Doorbell Rose, can it be considered slander if we share companies that we know are doing this? Here's the deal. If it is done verbally, it is slander. If it's done in print, it's libel. You cannot get in trouble for releasing something that you know to be true if it is fact-based and the information that you get it from is not bound by a non-disclosure agreement. So there are some things that I know from different companies that because of non-disclosure agreements, I can't talk to you guys about until I get second and third source verification that is not bound by those agreements. So we see about it in the movies and all that kind of stuff, but it is real. Here in the States, we do have the First Amendment protection of free speech, and as a journalist, you are not required to reveal your source, but there you can actually be caught up in legal action for refusing to reveal your source. It can happen, and it does happen rarely. So, that's why when I said that I consider myself ethical, even in my journalism, that I made sure, and I did my fact checking, and I made sure that I only reported on what I saw personally, what I could confirm through press releases. And oh my gosh, you guys are funny. Finally got Periscope. Couldn't wait till tomorrow to watch. You UK girls crack me up. So there is a fine line that has to be walked, and we need to respect journalistic integrity across the board when we talk about those kind of things, because this is something that journalists deal with every day in many other industries. And so, be careful what you say. Make sure you can back it up. You can't outright, as a customer, you can complain about your own situation. You can't outrightly completely lambaste a company without having data to back it up. And so, I know that some people in some countries I've seen on some boards have looked at me just as a hater who doesn't get it, who doesn't understand. They clearly didn't watch the video. They didn't see my table full of CND products. They didn't see the February 29th episode where I was wearing a CND t-shirt, for the love of God. They don't see the I Heart CND shellac apron that's hanging on the hook with all the rest of my aprons. So my goal here has not been to alienate anybody or cause hate and discontent. The goal has been to open the conversation, to kick open the door and bring this all into the light. And that seems to be happening. So please keep sharing, keep talking about it, keep the conversations going. And let's hope we get a, response from CND. Even if that response is, yes, because of pressure from profit, we plan on taking shellac straight to the consumer. Okay, that's an answer. And at least we wouldn't have been blindsided. And then we could make an informed decision. I think that's where the real heart of this betrayal feeling is coming from. So, we're going to get there. And I'm sure that none of us are really going to get any sleep until this simmers down. So, I'm so tired of hearing it will be diverted anyway. BS. We depend on them to limit diversion, not, do it themselves to inform and educate. That's exactly. I had this conversation with somebody earlier where I talked about when OPI made the decision to be more consumer-based. They started it out with consumer magazine advertising, but not mainline distribution channels to the consumer. And when they did make that switch, they thoroughly pissed the distributors off because the distributors either didn't know it was coming or weren't paying attention or whatever, but they didn't piss the techs off because we knew it was coming. We could see it coming from a mile away. And so now OPI is in Sephora. Do some people still use OPI? Well, yeah. But at least they know what's going on. They know the conversation. So, I think that's why, it can be done. It can be done in a different manner. And I think that CND just didn't do this the right way. And they're going to have alienated a lot of people because of doing that. So, whatever the answer is, let's wait for an answer. And when we get one, then we'll talk about that too. Cause that's what Nails Over Coffee is all about, right? And that's how I feel this morning after staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning, talking to my UK friends cause it was 11 o'clock in the morning there. Okay. So on to a few other things that I want to talk about, because I think that Elaine Watson put a post up that talked about what is the things that you consider most important in what you do: knowledge, service skill level, or products. And almost everybody across the board said knowledge, service, and products in that order. And I agree with that. I think that our knowledge and our training to be able to see potential diseases and disorders and refer out if we need to, or know how to handle those disorders, how to properly handle the nail plate, we can't ever expect to wash away the NSS salons, the people who are just damaging the nail and sending people on down the road. We can't help to clear out that underbrush if we don't get the whole industry kind of raised up to this right level. So there has to be an answer. We can't just say, okay, well, so to health education and to health all that, we still need to make sure that we maintain that professional integrity. Other professions require continuing education. We don't require it, but we damn well should get it. Well, some states require it, but most don't. But we damn well should be getting it anyway. We just need to make sure that we're focusing our education dollars where they belong. So, I'm hypnotized by your accent. You must be from either down under or in the UK, where I'm always fascinated by y'all's accent. So on the note of education, things that we do, this is a video that I saw that was really interesting in London. This is a time-lapse video of somebody's nail bruise growing out. And I think that this is fascinating. So when we talk about damage to the nail plate or those kind of things, we talk about growing out, these are the kind of things that we need to know about. So I'm going to get this video to reset here. Okay, there we go. So look at this. Is that not just fascinating to watch happen? They need to be a little more careful with a hammer, clearly. But, so I thought that was really interesting. We gotta, have some fun stuff here. We can't just, this was a video on people who are requesting, something, the color under the nails. And I'd be really interested to hear from everybody from a professional standpoint, how you do this in the salon. Now, I know how to do it, I know how to do it with acrylic. It's pretty easy with acrylic or with colored gel. When you sculpt, you just lay down the other color and then you sculpt the top color over the top of it. And then you've got your different color underneath, different color on top nail. But I know some other ways to do it too. And so I'm interested to hear what everybody's different techniques are for doing this. Tried several times, but I never get a good result unless it's a sculpt. I'm a new nail technician and been wondering how I can do this. Yes, it's definitely easier with sculpting, but I've seen people do it with gel polish underneath the nail. And so, if you have a properly fitting tip, it would be possible to do it as an overlay. Okay, so I can never say that name. I think it's Louboutin, but I'm not sure. Louboutin? And I've never been able to say it because I always just read it in print. So somebody send me a recorded Facebook message, audio Facebook message of saying that Christian whatever shoes so that I can say that. But this video, I thought was beautiful. Louboutin. Okay, well, that helps. I thought this video was really interesting. It's black sparkly nails on top. And then it's got red sparkle underneath. Love that glitter. I've actually found a place with glitters like that in Germany. I'm going to order a bunch of them for the Nails Over Coffee store. So for people who don't want to just order like 2 or 3 glitters and deal with it going through customs and all that kind of stuff. Show it again? Okay. I am going to order a bunch of these glitters in and put them in the University of Nails store. But, so I have another lady that wanted this. I've sculpted and I've also painted and overlaid. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So fun. Good luck DIYers doing that at home, huh? So, for a long time, prior to shellac, she wanted leopard underneath. For a long time, prior to shellac, we had polish clients, and then we had acrylic clients and gel clients. And the bulk of our business was acrylic and gel clients. And then we added gel polish to the mix, and it really expanded our... Calling me in the middle of a broadcast. So we really have, I think that the natural nail regular polish market because there are people who are just never going to be DIYers. So we need to make sure that we're covering that. But then like when you look at these couture nail designs that are done with artificial enhancements, I think that finding some brands that really support us as professionals and focusing on training and doing some really amazing things with some of those brands would be a good way for us to capitalize on this huge nail awareness industry, and for us to be able to put out some of our work on social media to kind of, let's compete with the bloggers for some social media press time. I'm a social media marketing specialist, so I'm happy to help. So there were some other questions. I'm following a thing on AdWords with Google has done some big changes. And so I'm trying to read up on that. So when people are talking to me about websites and other search engines and social media things, I can give you guys the most current information about AdWords. So I'm keeping up on that. So there's some whole, this was an interesting conversation that I think as professionals, especially, we really need to talk about. There was a post done in one of the groups. I can't remember which one. Let's see if I can find it. Nail tips for nail techs, which was, why on earth would you want gel polish on a nearly 4-year-old? Somebody had reached them, wanting to do gel polish on herself and on her 4-year-old daughter, for, holiday. And I think that it's important for us to kind of bring that into the conversation. What do we do when we get these really young people who want stuff done in a salon? And my discussion was, I think that the reasons for putting gel polish on a little girl are about the same as the reasons why we put it on an adult. Salon services are fun for kids. They see mom go do it, and so they want to do it. And my 4-year-old boy does my toes with OPI. That's awesome. So if you're going on holiday and you've got a little fashionista of a daughter, I wouldn't see any reason not to put gel polish on them as an every once in a while thing, as a special occasion. I don't think we should be regularly dolling up all of our little girls and boys all the time. But I think, if you're going to end up spending every other day of your vacation putting polish on your fashionista daughter's nails, and you really don't want to spend your holiday that way, putting gel polish on them, especially if they've had it done before, so they're used to it and they don't peel it off. The worst case scenario that could happen is they would peel it off and ingest it. And I think by the time you get to 4 or 5, the kids are pretty much done with just peeling stuff off and swallowing it or putting it in their mouth just to see what it's like. So I personally don't have a problem with it. I wouldn't put enhancements on somebody who is now, okay, I know this sounds weird, but just hang with me for a second. It has been my experience in 20 years that if you put enhancements on a female who is under the age of starting her cycle, that her nail beds are still super hyper oily. Her nails grow super fast. And so they just lift. They just lift and fall off. And they lift and fall off, and it doesn't even really look like you prepped their nail, even though you know you did. So generally, if I have a client or a mom or somebody contact me and say, hey, my X-age daughter wants to get acrylic nails, first thing I ask them is, has she started her cycle? And if the answer is no, then I suggest gel polish. If the answer is yes, then we have a conversation about how, the maintenance that's required, and is she ready for the maintenance? Or does she just want them done for a dance or something like that? And I think that's where a bulk of a lot of these NSS salons get their business, is somebody who's only going to go in and they're only going to spend, that's not scientific fact for all I know. That's just based on my experience. But people who are going to go into these salons and they want to pay $15 or $20 for a full set, just because they know that they're only going to wear them for a week and they're going to take them off anyway, or peel them off, or pick them off, or bite them off. So my 4 or 5-year-old stepdaughter had polish on for a straight year when I lived with her. Yeah, I mean, so I think that I think we have to, as salon professionals, we have to sort of bridge that gap. So that's why I've been trialing dipping system nails, which I actually have on right now. On 8 nails, I have LCN BioGlass on 2 product trials. But it's because I wanted to know if I could throw on a tip, do a clear dipping system, do a, because it doesn't require any prep. If you use a good dipping system, it's just like a fiberglass nail. All you have to do is buff the shine off. And so, I think that, you know, I would rather have somebody coming to me who's 15 and going to a school dance come to me so I can buff the shine off their nail, glue some tips on, put them in some sort of a very low prep required party nails, right? That's what we called them for years, right, Mare? And they took place with all kinds of different, sometimes we use glue, sometimes we use fiberglass, you know, now we have the option of using dipping systems. It's the same, you know, we've called them something for years. And I think we sort of got away from that as people started going to some of the cheaper salons. And I think we need to, as an industry, sort of maybe bring that back so that we have a price point where we can service. If I can put nails on somebody, knock them in and out of the salon in 30 minutes, because I don't have to spend a lot of prep on the nail. I'm not going to blend their tip. I'm going to put a product over. I'm going to put a gel polish on top of it and send them out the door. Or a regular polish on it and send them out the door. I don't, and we can offer that for say $25. Then how is that any different than taking an hour to do a rebalance or a back fill and spend $45? So we really need to, I think, work on, as professionals, us educating the consumer and stop expecting other people to do it for us. And I don't just mean the people in our chair. I mean everybody. We need to be making a social media marketing push. We need to get more involved in blogging. We need to be getting more involved. When we see these articles in magazines that infuriate us, or on the Huffington Post, where we're like, what pro did you ask? What expert gave you that information? Because they're high as a kite on something. Whatever they got, I want it because that's what they're on. We need to take that back. And so let's do that. Let's take that back. And so that being said, I would put gel polish as a rare thing on. I've put enhancements on young girls who their moms are having a really hard time getting them to stop biting their nails. And we've tried to scrape your nails across the barred soap, and keep their fingers out of their mouth. And we've tried all of that and it just hasn't worked. So I put a really, really thin, really short enhancement on them and then make them scratch their fingers across a bar of soap so that the soap gets all wedged under there. And then every time they put their hand in their mouth, they get a little taste of soap, which usually tastes a lot like what they did when they swore at their mommy. And it breaks that hand to mouth habit. It draws attention to it. And so they go, ugh. And so it breaks this habit. And so, if that's what we need to do, that's what we need to do. I don't think we need to worry about gel polish killing any children. It's pretty inert once it's cured. So I don't think we should really worry all that much about it. I've gotten some great topic requests for Nails Over Coffee. So I'm going to be working on the Pros Support Pros pro only brand list and who owns who information. I am going to working on, we're going to talk about what to do about late clients. That was a good thing that we need to talk about in the future. Difference in acrylic brushes, size, shape, and what to do with that. So that's coming up at some point as I research it. Pregnancy in the salon. I need to pull some OSHA data to confirm with hard numbers what I want to talk about. But that was a topic that was suggested that'll come up in the future. So you guys have been blowing up my social media. So I have a tweet out there that I tagged CND in that has a YouTube link to yesterday's episode. If you happen to see that tweet because you follow me, please retweet it. I've got some stuff up on Instagram that I've got CND and everybody tagged in. Please like that. Please feel free to screenshot and grab things. Anything I'm putting out there right now is totally in public domain. So you don't have to ask me. Feel free to grab it, share it. If you have somebody that needs to be handled and you don't have the right answers to handle them, tag me in the post. I'll get there as soon as I can with an answer. And, let's just keep this going. Let's rock it. We are pros. I'm hashtagging everything. Nail pros rock, nail professionals. We are one nail family. Let's use this social media hashtag thing to our benefit. I'm going to get on the University of Nails, which is where my blog is. And, I haven't posted in a while, so I'm going to post, a blog in the Nail Rogue blog talking about everything that's gone on here in the last 48 hours. And, let's keep it going. Solidarity, my friends. Everybody keeps calling it a revolution. And while I certainly find that flattering, I just aim to be the voice. I told one of my nail friends in New Zealand last night that I'm sort of like Batman. I'm here. Just send out the bat signal and I'll come. I might not be as fast as Batman, but pros before bros, laugh out loud. Michelle for nail president. You guys are killing me. My daughter just put on my Facebook the other day that she thought I should run for president of the United States. I told her we'd chat in 2020. But, and so as I'm completely self-financed. I have no manufacturer loyalty. So everything I do on my own dime. If you see a promoted post, I paid for that out of my own pocket. I do have some consulting projects I work on in the background, but that's exactly it. They're consulting in the background with me as a nail professional who also has a marketing degree. I don't have any particular, those people I'm consulting with also know and also understand who I am and what I'm all about. And that's being the nail rogue. I'm always a nail tech first. It says it on everything that I have. Always a nail tech first. So let's do this, man. Let's go out there and get them. And I'll be around. And I got to tell you, on a side note, I've never paved any of my nails before. This is my Disneyland 60th anniversary nails. I've never paved anything on my nails before. And I'm really a nails should be smooth and shiny kind of girl. And so I didn't think I would like it. But I set it in the Tammy Taylor Geligance art paint I put on in silver. And then I set all the stones in there. And it's remarkably smooth. For the fact that it's all stones because they're set in there. So if you haven't done it because you're not a bumpy nail sort of girl, give it a try. I think you might be surprised. Mare, daughter's playing football tonight. Got to run. I'll watch from the stands. Love this girl. Oh my gosh, you crack me up. Elizabeth, always lose my stones. That's why I used to until I started setting them in in a tack-free gel paint. So, Accents has one, Gel Play, that, does the same thing. I've been using Tammy Taylor Geligance, lately. Of course, there's a gazillion other brands. And I'm kind of enjoying it. Every time I've used stones on other people, I've just used my e-file and basically just filed the stones off. They just pop right off. And I just use a carbide bit and pop them on off. I anchored them in NSI Polybond and used gel top coat around that with a fine brush. Yeah, Accents Shine On works amazing too. Same thing with Accents Bling On. So after I did this and I put down the base of color and I set all the stones in it, which was super easy with the dotting tool on the end of my gel brush I got from Cordoza Nail Supply and Tiffany Cordoza. Wanted to give a shout out there to Tiffany. Picking up the stones, those of you who watched my Periscope, I was bumbling with my little stone picker-upper because I don't have a crystal katana. Use the end of my brush I got from Elegant Glass from Cordoza Nail Supply, I guess, and it worked awesome. Somebody just asked about peel off nails and what that's all about. I don't know what the bloggers are talking about peel off nails, to be real honest with you. What I do know is that when we're practicing, when we're doing things, if you can afford it, I would strongly suggest, I used it in one of my trial videos, I would strongly suggest ordering Take Two. Somebody says, Alessandro, do a strip lacquer peel off gel polish base. Okay, that's interesting. The Take Two, it's not a wrap, it's a protective base coat film, is something that's really good to put down on your nails. If you know you're just going to take whatever it is back off, you can polish over it. You can gel polish over it. You can use enhancements over it. And when you're done, it'll just lift right off. But you can also use it for clients, of course, too, with gel polish and regular polish. So, that's it. I got to wrap it up for today, you guys. It's been 45 minutes. My phone's blowing up. Yes, I absolutely love Take Two. And I don't just say that because I'm friends with Elaine. I really do enjoy the Take Two. It's not a wrap. For practice and for, it's made by, it's nailiberty.com. It's made by Elaine's Watson. And Elaine's video about the Knowledge Service Project just went up, by the way. Yeah, I talked to Elaine a little bit earlier this morning because Elaine is ethical. And she gave me a heads up that there was a video coming out that I might want to watch, and she didn't want to catch me by surprise. Go figure. Somebody who was ethical and responsible, who didn't want to blindside me. That's all we asked for, Sandy. So, thanks you guys for tuning in today. This was another long one. I'll get this up on YouTube as soon as I can, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Send up the bat signal if you need me. I'll be here. Peace, love, and nails, guys. See you later. Cheers. Oh, you guys are funny. Cut that out. Bye.